You know the colours, you know the ranks, but do you really know why Captain Picard wears red in The Next Generation? If you've always assumed it was just some kind of Starfleet protocol update, then buckle in, because the actual reason might be the most gloriously human thing imaginable. It's got nothing to do with lore, nothing to do with canon, and everything to do with fashion, lighting, and how one very bald, very brilliant actor, no, not me, looked on screen. And once you hear it, you'll never be able to unsee it. This is one of those little behind the scenes nuggets that changes how you watch the show. And yet, strangely, almost no one talks about it until now. So if you thought TNG flipped the uniform colours because of an in-universe evolution, well, let's just say Starfleet Command had nothing to do with it. Hello there, and welcome back to Hailing Frequencies, the channel where we boldly go behind the scenes, between the lines, and beneath the surface of your favourite sci-fi stories. I'm Stu Jackson, and today's Trek trivia dives into a subtle but iconic change that set the Next Generation apart right from the very first episode: the switch in Starfleet uniform colours. Now, in the original series, Command wore gold, engineering and security red. But in the Next Generation, those roles swapped. Suddenly, red meant command, and gold meant operations and support. For years, fans have debated whether this was some kind of narrative evolution or simply a stylistic refresh. And you know what? It was a stylistic refresh, but not for the reasons you think. Now, before we dive in, I just want to say a big thank you to those of you who've watched my recent video breaking down this Strange New World Season 3 trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely give it a look after this because lots of juicy speculation in that one. But for now, let's shift our scanners to the bridge of the Enterprise D and take a closer look at why Picard's uniform is red when it probably should have been gold. When Star Trek The Next Generation was in development, the producers were keen to modernise the look of Starfleet. That meant sleek sets, streamlined ships, and of course updated uniforms. The basic division of labour stayed the same: command officers, engineers, medical staff. But the colours got shuffled. So why did red take over as the command colour? The honest answer? Because it looked better on Patrick Stewart. No, really, that's it. When the designers were doing screen tests with the cast, they tried different combinations of uniforms, colours and lighting. And when Patrick Stewart, the Shakespearean powerhouse they'd cast as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, appeared on camera in the gold command uniform, something felt off. The colour didn't flatter him. It clashed with the set. It looked washed out. But when they tried red, suddenly the lighting worked, the costume popped, and more importantly, Stewart looked authoritative, commanding, iconic. So just like that, the hierarchy of Starfleet colours flipped. Red became command, and it stayed that way for the entirety of the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Even today, red is often associated with leadership in modern Star Trek series. It's easy to forget that design decisions like this are often made for the simplest of reasons. Not because of some grand narrative overhaul, but because of how a fabric catches the light. And in this case, it was one actor, one camera, and one colour palette that reshaped decades of Trek visuals. But now I want to ask you, Did you always assume there was an in-universe explanation for the uniform colour swap? Or did you know it was just a matter of looking good on screen? Let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing your theories. Star Trek is full of iconic choices. Some made by writers, some by actors, and some by costume designers trying to make a guy in a jumpsuit look good under studio lights. And it's these hidden behind the scenes moments that makes the franchise feel so real, so rich, and so human. If you've enjoyed this little insight into the real reason behind the red and gold uniform swap, then you're exactly the kind of viewer I made Hailing Frequencies for. This channel is all about peeling back the layers of Star Trek. Not just what happens on screen, but why it happens behind the scenes. So if you haven't already, give this video a like. Drop a comment with your favourite Starfleet uniform design. I genuinely want to hear your take. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any more Trek trivia, deep dives, or breaking news from the final frontier. I'm Stu Jackson, and this has been your weekly wave of Trek trivia.